welcome to another process video. So I have got another video using the hip kit, the August hip kit from the Hip Kit Club, and I have chosen a piece of paper there with the pink numbers on it from Studio Calico, and I'm using that map paper for a part of the mat. So I thought that I would predominantly use the pink pieces from this kit today for this layout. It's a cute photo of my children, once again an old photo that I have found, and I think that my children are roughly 2 there and maybe 4. So they love to dress up, or my daughter used to love getting dressing up, and my son just followed her along and did whatever she chose to do. She was so creative in her thinking and her gameplay that he just went along with everything that she did, and they had lots of fun together. So I have gone through the container of die cuts and all of the little cut apart sheets there, and I have chosen some cards, but as you will see, I pull them off. So at this stage I am seeing what is going to work for me, and I start layering up and changing around as I go along to suit. So some of the colours there, that even though they were pink, they weren't really the right tones of pink to match some of the other elements on the page, so I didn't use them. So the pink background went more with the pieces of cut aparts that were more purpley pink rather than a pastel-y coloured pink. So I end up removing that card that says lovely and taking that off and going through. So this one I've pulled out. So the extra that I've pulled out from my kit is that sticker sheet, the Chamel Lane sticker sheet. So I have used that gold love heart and the little piece of wording there that says lovely darling, and I think that's the only thing that I've pulled out from that sticker sheet, the sticker collection that wasn't actually in my main kit. It was in part of the add-on kit, but it wasn't in the main kit. So that was an extra that I had purchased online and I tried to use that there. So when I use my kits, I've said before that I like to keep them predominantly what I have bought. So if I have bought the main kit and no add-ons, I like to see how many layouts I can get using just the main kit and no add-ons, and that gives you more of a clear indicator of exactly how you can use a kit without having to purchase extras. So I had that little little tag there, I think it was a 4x6, sorry, a card, and I chopped the top section off there, and I'm using that to layer underneath the photo. So I'm just building up my photo mat areas. I had a little bit of the printed word paper left from the previous layout, and so I'm getting the most I can from that and have cut sections out to tuck underneath, so you can see a little bit of that paper, but I'm not wasting it all, so I can use that on the next layout if I choose. So I loved using all these little pieces in the ephemera pack, and they had lots of different colours in there, so it's great if you want to do a more of a monochromatic layout, and you can just choose one of the colours. So I think I've done that in a few of them, and you wouldn't necessarily know that they even all came from the same pack. So I'm just doing my title now and calling this one Dress Ups, because that's of course what they're doing and something that they absolutely loved to do. So I have decided that I'm going to put it up the top. I played with the idea of putting it at either side, but it didn't really work for me. So this layout I had a little bit of trouble with ideas that I had in my head, and I couldn't quite get them to work out on the paper. So, you know, using what I've got there, I'm happy with the layout. I love it in the end, but it just took a little bit of fiddling and fussing around. So I'm just grabbing a few of the tags and cutting them apart so that I can use the other sections for other layouts, because to me it's no point in tucking a whole tag underneath if you're only going to see an inch or so popping out of the top. I'd rather cut that in half and save that for a future layout. So that's what I've done there, and I use the other section of the tag for another layout. So there I am, swapping again, trying to make that heading work at the side, but you will see that I go back to putting it above the photo and think that that's the best place to put it. So I'm just gluing. You can see that that's how I glue all my little bits together. Just turn it over, add a little bit of double-sided tape and tuck something underneath. So I'm ready to commit with the placement of that main photo and the cluster around that, and I'm pulling out some elements from the cork sheet and trying to see if I can make 3 clusters. So I would like to add 3 elements onto the page of the cork sheets, but they are quite big, and I do get it to work in this layout, but I'm left with the bigger elements now, and trying to do 3 elements isn't always going to work. So I'm happy with that. Looks like that's where I want to keep it, and I fuss in this corner quite a bit. I've pulled off that little heart, and I know that I want to make a cluster to the right at that side, and I'd really like to use that noted piece that I've tried to use before, and it wasn't working for me in one of the other layouts, so I really want it to work in this layout. So I fiddle around quite a bit with it to the side there, and I try to get it to work for me, and you'll see what I did. So I've pulled out some of the other cork bits and pieces in a minute, and I try to fiddle in that area. So sometimes when you're making your layout and you know that there is an area on your page that you want to add something, just fiddle around, take things off, put them on, off again, take them on, put them off, and go through your elements, see what you've got, and change it up, because you will eventually get it to work. I think when I'm just about to give up and think perhaps it's not going to work for me, and I keep persevering, I end up finding a solution to a problem area, and I was really happy that I persevered and didn't just give up. Because often in our mind we know what we would like, we can visually see something that we'd really like, but sometimes it takes a while to get there. So there I am, I've picked up that heart and I'm trying to get that to work. So, but it's just not doing it for me. It's just maybe the wrong shapes, because they're both circles, and I feel like there needs to be a 3rd element there, but it's not working. So whilst I'm thinking about that, I just go to another section of the page and tuck some bits of paper or put some other elements, and hoping that I get some fresh revelation or ideas for the area that has been troubling me. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just having a look at what else maybe I could put onto the page, and so I'm having a look through that notepad, the little 6x6 pad, and seeing if there's anything that I could cut out, but there wasn't really anything that I wanted to use. Checking out the rub-ons, no. And here I go back to this corner. So I'm trying to find something, and I come to the conclusion that it's really not working for me, and so I need to pull another element out. So I pulled out that little See the World globe from the chipboard sticker sheet, and I'm trying to make that work while still trying to incorporate a little bit of the chipboard, the cork stickers, but it's not working for me. So it's starting to frustrate me at this point, and I quite like that. Looking at the camera now, watching the video, I quite like that. I think that worked, but it's too many circular elements, I think. So I've thought, okay, I'm not going to get the cork to work. Maybe I can just pull in a similar colour card and maybe that'll work for me. So I cut that apart, put that on, and think that it's okay, but not really satisfied. But as you can see, I will still persevere, and aha, maybe I could just get this little suitcase and put that on there, and that works for me. So it changes up the elements, so takes the circular globe, the circular noted card, and adds a rectangle look to that area as well, so it's not just all circular, and that worked for me. So now it's pretty much, I'm happy with that, and looking at some areas that might be a little bit blank and where I could tuck some things, and I've pulled out those little wood veneer shapes and added a little heart to the top there where it says brilliant, added the little arrow there, and there you go. Look, I'm doing some journaling. So it's not often that I journal on a page, but I've added some journaling there, saying how you guys love to play dress-ups and how you could grab anything and let your imaginations run wild, and how they were so funny. So I've got there that they are roughly 3 and 4. So I think they're about 2.5 or 4. Doesn't really matter exactly the date to me, just as long as I know roughly how old they were. So yeah, so that's another layout from me today. Lots of fussing around, lots of frustration, but in the end, happy with the result. And I'll just show you a few close-ups and followed by some stills. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.